One of the worst threats facing the Great Salt Lake just took a menacing step forward. Hi, I'm Joe from the Great Salt Lake Waterkeeper, and this is Liquid Courage, a no-bullshit series about water in Utah. Utahns are desperately hoping the state will save the Great Salt Lake by sending it more water and regulating upstream water diversions. But instead, Utah is now proposing to weaken the regulation of upstream water diversions with the advancement of HB 60. The dire impacts of the bill have been falsely sold to the public as streamlining the water application process, with the bill's sponsor claiming it would somehow help save the Great Salt Lake, without explaining how that would happen. HB 60's ruinous effects were highlighted by a number of people in committee.
This bill absolutely, positively streamlines the drying of the Great Salt Lake.
HB 60 would gut the existing requirement for the state engineer to consider impacts of the Great Salt Lake when approving new water use applications.
This bill moves us further away from the meaningful regulation of upstream depletions at the exact moment when stronger decision-making authority is needed.
The bill dismantles existing regulations on new water diversions by removing the requirement that the Utah official who approves new water rights, the state engineer, consider the impacts of these diversions on public recreation, the natural stream environment, or the public welfare. The bill specifically prevents the state engineer from rejecting a water right application if the impact is from reduced water flows on sovereign lands. All of the Great Salt Lake is on sovereign lands. This means that if a new water diversion were to shrink the Great Salt Lake and worsen the toxic dust storms impacting public health, the state engineer will no longer have to consider those impacts. The bill also limits who can protest a new water right, meaning it will be much harder for the public to challenge irresponsible water diversions in court, thereby preventing Utahns from availing themselves of their right to use the judicial branch of government. Neither the sponsor nor the Utah state engineer addressed these impacts. Instead, they claim other laws will protect the Great Salt Lake, even though this is absolutely not the case. The Great Salt Lake continues to shrink under Utah's failed leadership and is likely to reach a new record low in 2026. At a time when the public wants the Utah legislature to protect the Great Salt Lake, the state is making it easier to dry it up. Please, help us save the Great Salt Lake from Utah's failure by contacting your representatives now and urging them to vote no on HB 60. Visit GreatSaltLakeWaterkeeper.org to learn more. See you next time.